Okay, so this afternoon my plan is to discuss what happened during the Second World War when Britain needed money to fight. And they basically decided to make a lot of promises. I first came into this topic working with a scrapbook in the Uganda National Archives, which talked about how Ugandans could fund the war and then own the victory thereafter. This raised a lot of questions for me, so I went to the British National Archives and the Canadian National Archives and a number of other sources. And basically everywhere I went, I was finding information basically promising people that if they funded the war, they would own the victory, they would become citizens, and they would be part of an utterly new world order. And the propaganda was fascinating. The images, the characterization, and the selling of savings. I probed a little further. I also found that in the process, this promise was made not simply to adult white men, but to women, to children, to elders, to people who were too old to work. It was made in a wide variety of different kinds of contexts. In Britain, it was also linked to a type of social organizing at the street level, at the community level, in civic society, in all kinds of aspects of the country that were really unprecedented as far as I could tell. I was also interested in the promises that were made about what that new future would look like and who would benefit from it. Overall, this is a really big project, and I'm not going to be able to cover the entire thing in this talk, but I do want to show some of the images of the propaganda and share with everybody who's there some of the kinds of things that have grabbed me about this project. Whether it is the idea of selling bonds on bombed out buildings in London, whether it's the idea of the billion-dollar gift from Canada that basically was a declaration of being Canadian and free, or even whether it's the move by indigenous Ugandans from giving huge sections from their native treasuries to Britain to instead move toward loans and education and inflation, and a great deal of economic promises about what it meant to do formal sector savings. All of these are fascinating and give me a very different glimpse of what it meant to actually pay for the Second World War. And they offer interesting suggestions about why Britain in the aftermath of the war ceased to be a major imperial power.